We are live. We are live. This is the Wrestling for Life Network. This is a TNA Impact stream. We are here for the next 2 hours to cover TNA Impact. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff went down in the wrestling world this week, specifically in TNA as well. I'm not here alone, but this is the Wrestling for Life Network. What is up, guys? This is the Wrestling for Life Network. This is another TNA Impact stream. I'm excited for tonight's episode. I am not here alone. We got Big Nick here as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the man who puts the T in TNA, Ringsider Anthony. I am Big Nick. Yes, we got TNA Impact, but my guy, we got to get into it early because we were already talking about before we went live of the big news that went down in TNA. For those who don't know, Gail Kim has, with a few other executives within the company, were relieved of their duties, we'll say. And so now Tommy Dreamer's also head of talent relations. Delirious is taking over bookings, but Anthony's got all the inside scoops. You spill the tea, my guy.
Yeah, so it broke, I think, Wednesday-ish. Maybe it was Tuesday. I can't remember. All of the stuff with TNA and Gail Kim and a few others being let go from the company. And the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, anybody that watches wrestling had a lot to say and a lot to comment about the Gail Kim situation. And I'm here hopefully to, shed some light on some things I've heard recently. And when I mean recently, I mean in the past hour and a half, about the Gail Kim situation. But to start off, I guess, with the whole thing with Gail Kim, and I guess my, stance and kind of opinion about it, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked that Gail Kim was let go. I think I was more of like, oh my God, they did it, but I wasn't shocked. And the reason why is I follow a TNA insider. His name is Negative BQ. He's really popular in the TNA space of the wrestling world. His content is all focused on TNA. He's been covering TNA for a very, very long time. And a couple of months ago, when Josh Matthews was let go by TNA, he said in this video, in that same video, he said that people should keep their eyes on Gail Kim, hinting about Gail Kim potentially stepping away from TNA wrestling or being let go from TNA wrestling. So about an hour or so ago, I finally listened to his episode about Gail Kim. There's two parts. One is about 18 minutes. The other one was about 10 minutes. The first part, that was 18 minutes, he didn't have much details. It was more of him talking about kind of giving his opinions of what he thought was happening. One of his opinions was saying that there was a backstage of butting heads between two people, and one of those people were Gail Kim. And he didn't really go into details because he didn't have enough details. But in the second part, he had a lot of details. And apparently Gail Kim was butting heads with another TNA official who was also let go. And that person's name is Ariel. He was also a part of the firings that happened this past week. And apparently they have gotten to so much of heated arguments that it had got to the point where they actually went to the president of Anthem, and Gail Kim had said, if he doesn't go, I go. And he said the same thing. If she doesn't go, I go. What did TNA do? They decided to let both of them go. And so that is how we are kind of here today with the whole Gail Kim, and I believe you pronounce his name as Ariel. I'm not sure, but that's how we got here to the whole Gail Kim and Ariel situation. And now I think, over the past couple of days, there's been a lot of discourse about, here we go with TNA again. TNA is letting go big stars and top talent, and whatever you want to call it, We were legit in the same situation about a year or so ago. And that was with Scott Demore. And when that happened, I myself learned the lesson in that time. When it came to Scott Demore, I was highly upset that they let go Scott Demore. But since they have let go Scott Demore, TNA has not been the same, and TNA has not been the same in a good way. It didn't turn into anything bad. TNA grew from leaving from Scott Demore. Now we are here a year later, and Gail Kim is now gone. As fans, we need to give this time. We need to give this time to see what happens with the transition of Gail Kim no longer being in talent relations. One of the things that I know, and I've seen Gail Kim in interviews talk about it, of how she wanted to bring more knockouts into the division. We haven't really seen more knockouts in the division. Let's just be honest. And this podcaster, Negative BQ, breaks it down that TNA was not ready for the departure of Naomi. TNA was not ready for the departure of Mickie James. TNA was not ready for the departure of Gail Kim. This, like, they didn't have anybody. They did not have anybody ready to step up in the knockouts division. And he did not discredit Masha Slamovic. We all know Masha Slamovic is one of the top women's wrestlers in the company right now, one of the top women's wrestlers in the world. But he was saying at a time when Scott Demore was let go, and a time when Trinity left, Deonna Purrazzo left, Mickie James left, all they had was Jordan Grace, and Jordan Grace carried that division on her back for about 10 months. She won the championship in January of 2024, lost the championship in October of 2024. They had nobody else. And Gail Kim was supposed to be the person to bring in knockouts to the knockouts division. We can all clearly see that the knockouts division is not in the best shape. I'm a huge TNA fan. I champion the knockouts division every time I can. But I also can say that the knockouts division is not where it once was. So we have to look at all sides when it comes to this whole Gail Kim situation, and not just be like, oh my God, TNA did something bad by letting Gail Kim go. We need to watch over the next couple of months to see what these new executives actually do. Do they bring in more knockouts? Do they not rely on the NXT women's division to fulfill the knockouts division? Because right now there are literally two knockouts tag teams in the division. It is Spitfire and it's Jody Threat, and it's Ash and Heather by Elegance. Those are the legit two signed TNA knockouts tag teams in the division. Everybody else that's coming over to TNA right now in the tag team division is from the NXT partnership. I want you guys to think about that. It's all from the NXT partnership. So what is being brought to the division right now? Nothing. So over the next couple of months, give it some months, and one person, and I'm gonna call him out in the chat because he kind of put me in my place last year in a good way, was MDB. One person last year told me that I needed to give Anthony Ciccone, who replaced Scott Demore at that time, an actual chance to see what he can do with TNA. And in that year before he was moved to a different position in Anthem, really expanded TNA. We got to do the same thing here. We got to do the same thing here with Gail Kim. We got to give it time to see what TNA actually does with the departure of Gail Kim. And I think, like I said, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I'm going to just call him Arel. We got to give it time and not be upset and not have fake outrage for some people that don't watch TNA on a regular basis, and have fake outrage for somebody that was let go from the company. I understand things happen, transitions happen. Gail Kim losing her job, regardless of what happened backstage, was very, very sad. Gail Kim is a hard worker. She's been with that company for a very, very long time. She's seen the ups and the downs of TNA. But we live in this world where transitions happen, where things happen. And this time, Gail Kim was let go, and she would definitely land on her feet. I was at a job at one point where the VP of operations was pushed out and forced to retire because they brought somebody in that technically didn't like her. Things like this happen. It's just what it is in the corporate world. And I think I spoke for about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna let
No, 100%, my guy. Man's dropping all the hot takes here, and trust me, I even see C Money out here saying, don't give MDB any credit. It'll go right to his knee pads. And I was actually going to, at one point, bring up, because it's like cats and dogs playing together. You know, hell's frozen over here. You and MDB agreeing here. That's what I was saying, Anthony. They have to keep it pushing and have actually been super solid. Even I got to give TNA their props. For that wonderful note, we'll transition to saying hi to the chat as we got 4 or 5 minutes before the show kicks off here. And 100%, again, we're already shouting out the chat, so make sure you get in there. Make sure you say hi, all of that. As Ken, what up? Maddie, what up? Damien, what up? Eric, hey, Wrestle for Life buddies, and WFU, can't wait for tonight. And don't worry, Anthony, the Maggie Lee era has begun. Do you have any knowledge on this woman, sir, since you were talking about this? No knockouts.
I do not, honestly. And apparently, from what I'm seeing, she's been wrestling on Explosion a lot, and I haven't been keeping up with Explosion the past month or so. I've been behind, and I'm gonna take the time to catch up. But I was watching Explosion every week, and they really have some fun matches on Explosion. So I know nothing about Maggie Lee. So this is kind of exciting to see what happens.
Every week till recently, but he'll be back exploding soon. C Money, what up? Boston, what up? The Wrestling God, what's up? No KJ. KJ will be back tomorrow, actually, if I can find the slide. Yes, 3:45. KJ's on a little pause for the cause because we got this funny, European schedule going on for the month of March. But KJ will be here. I don't know if he'll have anybody else with him, but KJ will be here at 3:45 Eastern Standard Time for Friday Night SmackDown out there in London's Calling.
Yeah, absolutely. So be here tomorrow for SmackDown. I'm actually looking forward to WWE going back to normal times in the next couple of weeks, because these 3 and 4s and 5s, I don't like them. Like the first Raw at 3:00 in the afternoon, that was okay. But then after that, I'm like, I'm gonna need y'all to come on back to the States so we can get some 8:00 Raws.
Yeah, I'm always at work and everything. I feel bad. I haven't talked to the homie in like a fucking week, it feels like, because every time it's, goddamn, I'm at work and something, and then SmackDown's come on. Well, I guess I know what I'm watching when I get home.
Right.
Trey, what up? Byron, what up? Vance, what up? What up? What up? Dara Bennett or Dari Bennett. Well, yes, over there on Twitch. We are also on Twitch, folks, 100%. We got the devil's number right now for subscribers. Let's see if we can change that. Let's go to the Biblix and get past that 6.66. Let's get to 6.67, 7K, all of that. Yes, we are also over on Twitch and all of that fun stuff. Dawn, hi Nick, hi Anthony, hello chat. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. How you doing? How you doing? Well, besides your ranting and raving and your, TED talk about all that's going on in TNA, how you doing, my guy?
I am doing extremely well. I've been
not so fired up. I think you went out of focus and you're back in focus.
Am I back in focus? Yeah, I was a little fired up. Passionate. I was a little fired up. I was, I even made a TikTok video about a day or so ago about it, and I was kind of fired up then. But, outside of all the stuff in wrestling world, I'm doing great. I felt the best that I have in a couple of weeks. Nick and KJ know that I've transitioned into a new position at work, and it's been a lot. Anything new at work is a lot on you mentally, but this has been the best week since I've transitioned so far. So I'm doing really good.
Right. So see, my guy is learning the first-hand way of you got to give it time, folks. You got to give it time.
Right.
AM, what up? Bonkers, what up? Eddie, hi. As we should be starting and syncing up anytime soon. I think we're both watching on TNA Plus, hashtag not sponsored. But yeah. Brendan, what up? Lady B, I apologize if I miss anybody, but we do try and click on as many as we can. And we do have the super chats, as I'll try and read this as we're going live and syncing, but that's the way you show up and show out, because that's what the show's about. But Spaz saying, my guys, wiki, Nikki, oh so sticky with the tricky sticky. I did that fairly well. And Sweet Tony, the onion rings with all the not suitable for YouTube nicknames. Thanks for all you guys do. Big love. Appreciate you, Spaz, and appreciate everybody in the chat 100%. If I missed anybody, I apologize, as I still have just live events starting soon, sir. I don't know if you have anything.
I have the opening video package.
All right, I got it now. I refreshed. So I got Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, Mustafa and Mike Santana.
I've got Yeah, well, I've got the video package for it. I've got Santana and that match happening right now, or the replay of the match.
Okay, cool. That's
Folks, so we are syncing up so you can sync up with us as well. But yes, Jorge, what up? Has Mustafa Ali become like one of the top dogs in TNA and really reestablished himself in the rest of the world? Because I saw he came out with, they didn't ask permission to go to Chicago, and now is going to have his own little whole faction going into, or no, that was Wrestling Evolver. Sorry, mea culpa. But yeah, him and even with Santana has been a hell of a goddamn feud.
Yeah,
my wrestling factions or my wrestling.
Yeah, he has this whole he does have his faction in TNA with the Good Hands and Tasha Steelz. So this is interesting to see Tasha Steelz in a different light. But right now, Mustafa Ali is doing, I think, better than what he did in his first initial run with TNA. So I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out. With Mike Santana, I really believe a title should be in place with this, but all the titles are hung up right now. But this has been a solid feud carrying the show for a couple of weeks now.
Right. Simone's out there. I think you've got to be competing with Anthony over this, though. Tasha Steelz my heart.
I like that.
RM Girl's talking about the new ring announcer. I can't remember his name now. That'll be for Friday Night SmackDown starting tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, I saw that today too. I'm excited. I hate that Lillian Garcia stepped away. I don't have fake outrage for that. But
that's the flavor of the week, my guy. This whole week is fake outrage.
Exactly.
Fake outrage. So I've got the overhead shot of El Paso.
I have the personal concierge. I'll pause there.
All right. I will let you know when I get my favorite manager, George the Iceman, who I got beef with. I got him now in the ring getting spouting off.
Okay. There we go.
With the neck brace styling and profiling. I wish I was the one who put him in that. I digress. I can't say that on YouTube. Allegedly. In a video game. But Denisha, what up? I miss Lillian already. I couldn't even tell half time Lillian was even there.
So we got the concierge saying that they messed up the celebration last week, which all the NXT talent did come out and interrupt everything. So it seems like they're gonna do it again.
Oh yay. What are these guys with the bow ties? What Chippendales is that? That's Double Chunk, AJ Boom, Costco, fucking Chippendales.
Right. I don't know what this is. It's like the sea people of Chippendales or something.
Yeah. Mark Shunock. Yes, I guess that was his name. I guess he did like the Vegas Golden Knights hockey game. So yeah, we're getting the elegances, as I think KJ calls them, but Ash and Heather coming out now.
See, they are wrestling tonight. I think it's
they are taking on Chemical X there, the Powerpuff Girls, yes. Gigi and Tatum.
Yeah. So I'm kind of excited about that. I am excited that we got some tag teams, even though they're not signed to TNA, they're in NXT in the division to kind of spice things up a little bit here, because we've had Spitfire versus the Elegances for the past 5 months, and I've enjoyed the majority of it, but the last couple of months I was like, we kind of need to end it now.
Well, and I know you mentioned it in your whole, preamble before and everything, with a lot of the women's tag teams right now in the Knockouts division are from NXT. I don't mind it. I don't know how you feel about what the whole crossover. I mean, I get the reason why you say it didn't depth in their own division, but I've heard that Gail Kim's exiting could have been because of how much the WWE TNA relationship is starting to really come together and go forward and everything. That, all right, we're going to just move these people out of the way because we're streamlining this whole connection.
So when it comes to the NXT women being in the tag team division, I like it. So in that rant, if it seemed like I didn't like it, I like that they have this here. I would like to see sign TNA talent in the division as well. But this is a good filler for them to eventually put more focus into finding some talent to come in the division. I did hear about that, what you said about Gail Kim. I did hear that. I also heard that Gail Kim wanted to focus more on the knockouts division, and they told her no. And which I don't really believe, because if anybody consistently kind of watches TNA, you'll know that once every other month or so, there's a knockouts heavy episode where the majority of the episode of TNA is only focused on the knockouts. So that was one report I saw that I really didn't believe. I think one of the bright spots of TNA, its foundation is the X division, and its secondary foundation is the knockouts division as well. Is the knockouts tag team division and the knockouts division. So I don't think that's the case here.
Right. But RM, what up? Damien, breaking news. Moose will be defending his X Division Championship in an Ultimate X match at Rebellion.
Yeah, I keep seeing it, so I'm trying to refresh Twitter to see if that's a thing. I'm sure it is.
Fair enough. Well, I'm agreeing with Ken here. If he's obeying the laws of wrestling that I've established, of whoever brings the cake gets the cake in the face. So, folks, let us know who you got in this match, whether you got Ash and Heather Elegance. I don't even know if that's actually her name. The Elegances versus Chemical X, the Powerpuff Girls, Gigi and Tatum. Who you got? Who do you have, sir?
I since they just won the titles, I got the Elegances winning, and you did get their name right. Is Ash and Heather, so you were spot on.
Well,
there.
yeah, well, it's Heather Reckless and Ash by Elegance. So
yeah, but I got them winning here, absolutely. And it's true, he is defending the X Division title in an Ultimate X match on Rebellion, so I'm excited for that.
There you go. Christopher Cox, what up? Saying, glad I didn't go to Dynamite last night. We could talk about that. As what in the TV is that? So Lash and Jackson are watching on is just like a 55-inch TV that just so happens to be propped up and running and hooked into the fucking feed and everything on like an equipment box or anything. Like, there's no stand.
That's what it looks
the
like.
biggest fucking TV in the arena and just put it on an equipment box. It
It's
does
funny,
not look like it should work, but it works.
It's funny because they got the picture-in-picture now, and they got Spitfire watching the match on a TNA background with the TV. So they gave the
room
NXT
closet that you can't see what they're watching. They're just staring at a TV.
Exactly.
Bronco Buster by Gigi, but yes, let us know, folks, who you got. What is that TV angle? Yes, Ash and Heather for the win. Ash and Heather. Did you give a pick at all, sir?
Yes, Ash and Heather taking the victory here, I hope.
I'm going for Gigi and Tatum just because fuck George. We got beef, my guy. You got to run that pockets. I don't care if you're in a neck brace or not. Run that shit. But no, I do like him. I was a fan of Ash for a bit there and everything like that. And I'm just being salty, Spittoon. But I do like that even with the crossover with NXT and TNA, that it gives people who may not be able to get something right now in NXT, because we've got the Zarias, the Sorukas, the Gigis, the JCs, we've got all of this going on already in NXT, that they can still go and have a match here or there, or be involved in something over in TNA, and that also strengthens that partnership.
Yeah, and I think last week, Tatum Paxley said it best when she had grabbed the mic. She was like, I'm tired of being overlooked and underutilized, kind of throwing a hint out there that she wants to wrestle more. So I think this is perfect that, she's here in TNA kind of showing what she can do.
Right. Ronan got Ash and Heather. Daily OG got Ash and Heather. Want to see Gigi and Tatum, but Ash and Heather for the win. Hassan, I vote for Gigi Dolan team. There you go. Tagging and Tatum. I'm taking them against, though. It'd be fun, and again, to see them a bit around more in TNA a bit, because I don't know what they have to do in current NXT.
Yeah.
And you get Shotzi over there, and we've seen some of the knockouts rather not happy with Gail Kim's leaving, so maybe you need some reinforcements in case some people don't want to be there. Just saying.
Yeah, true. There definitely was a few knockouts that were not happy that Gail Kim got fired or let go. So yeah, you might need that reinforcement for a minute.
Might need to have some other contingency storylines going. Now George out here throwing Tatum off the top rope as Heather's going up top.
I think she's about to hit the rarefied air or her version of the swanton.
Oh boy. That looked so choreographed.
She didn't land it like right.
Well, even the setup and everything, it's like, all right, everybody, I'm about to do my trick. Everybody watch right now what I'm about to do. Fuck.
Like everybody watch. I'm here.
Yeah, well, it was an all right match. Ash and Heather get the win after the dumb blonde bomb there, but yeah.
I do want speaking of like the NXT tag teams, I do kind of want Lash and Jakara to be the first to grab a TNA title.
Fair enough. I will agree with you on that as we're getting the cake set up by fucking goddamn Natty Lightendale instead of fucking Chippendale. This is long and awkward, and they can't get the candle lit. We had to stall all the way for them to get now.
So now
we're still stalling for them, the fucking obvious cake in the face spot. What are we doing? Finally, god damn it. Oh my god. Just a man nothing match that led to a man nothing spot. Oy.
I kind of
Anthony, you got any positive spin for this?
I don't. The match was shorter than my 10-minute rant. I don't have a positive spin on that.
No, oh my god, just obvious spot is obvious. All right,
I find this more funny than anything.
Oh, but you know already, everyone is going to use this and say, "See, this is what happens when Gail Kim is in here."
Exactly. Oh, craziness.
Jorge out there with T's and P's for the cake. Sin, what up? Wrestle Rants, TNA. I don't know if you want a TNA chant to that. Nick, my guy, what up? Shout out, Nick.
What's up, Nick?
Go and check out. I guess now we've had British Nick, Little Nick. Now he's TNA Nick, I guess. But shout out, Nick. We're collecting Nicks like Pokemon on this fucking channel.
Absolutely.
Shout out to homie. Go and check him out as well. But women's tag match of the year. I hope you're joking.
Oh, I think he's talking about where I said Jakara and Lash take the title.
Okay, I was gonna say, please don't tell me you were calling that the women's match of the year. I was like, oh no.
So Ken is asking up here. He said, Anthony, me being new to TNA, where did Chris Bay fit in on the roster, and what match would you say to watch from him? So Chris Bay was in the tag team with Ace Austin, known as ABC. So that's kind of where he fit in the roster. I would say one of the matches you could watch, I believe it was at Slammiversary, where man, I need to look it up, but it was Slammiversary last year. I believe they were on the card, and it was a really good match. I want to say it was against the Rascals, but I might be wrong. But I just want to double check here.
Or even then, any of the ABC versus Motor City Machine Guns matches.
Right.
That's the thing is you have ABC was constantly in the discussion for tag team of the year and everything.
Yeah.
Go and pick them out at this point.
Let me see here. Yeah, so it was ABC versus the System for the tag team titles at Slammiversary last year. That was a phenomenal match. But like Nick said, any ABC versus Motor City Machine Guns match, top tier. ABC versus the Rascals, if you can search YouTube for that, they had some banger matches as well. So that's kind of where you need to start at.
Right. Ronan saying, did someone take a cake to the face? Yes. So Ash by Elegance in the longest spot that felt longer than the entire match ended up getting her face smashed into the cake that was set up by, I swear to God, if you looked at these two gentlemen that they had that were trying to be, the hostess with the mostest with this cake, they looked like a fucking wet pack of Marlboro Lights. But yeah, so in the longest spot, Ash by Elegance has her face smashed to the cake, and they even do the crying. It was the weirdest, slowest, worst, awkward start to TNA I've had in a while. That
No,
was a
I can
bad
agree.
taste in the mouth. Pause.
No, I can agree. That wasn't the hottest start of TNA I've seen. It was a struggle a little bit, and I think the match could have been a tad bit longer.
Right. Again, T's and P's to the cake. Wrestle Rants. Love me some Gigi. I actually really like her and Tim together. I do like the whole little faction, and I like the whole little kind of play on the whole Powerpuff Girls that they've gone with Shotzi, Tatum, and Gigi. And I'm still infamous for, when JC Jane, who's going to be taking on Masha later tonight, and Gigi had their falling out that, Marty just kicked Sean, and Gigi's been holding water, been trying to find something to float with. So this is finally working for her.
Yeah. This will be good for Gigi if they continue to have her on TNA over the next couple of weeks and months. So it gives the NXT roster, like you said earlier, some exposure if they're not being used on NXT.
Right. Nick saying Bay also won the TNA X Division Championship at Slammiversary in 2020. That was a banger. There you go. Absolutely. MDB, I think this is hilarious. More Knicks than New York. Took you a minute, I guess.
It did take me a minute. It did.
But I'm in commercial break, I guess, with TNA. We'll be right back. So I wanted to ask your opinion about this because I don't know if we've talked about this on the channel. Of course, as soon as I start to say that, we come back from that. So we'll put a linchpin on what I might want to talk to you about, sir. As we're backstage with Ash still covered in cake because we can put 55-inch TVs on a fucking production case, but we're fucked for paper towels or a goddamn towel or anything. Anything to wipe this woman off. Pause. I can't take it anymore. Oh, God. This is like bad slapstick bullshit. Like, this is just bad. Sorry, Anthony. I know.
No, this is not good. This is more of it being funny than anything. It's not good.
Is it like
it's
so
giving secondhand
it's funny type of vibe?
Right. It's giving secondhand embarrassment just a tad bit.
It feels a little cringe. F's in the chat for the cake. As I got AJ Francis and Casey Navarro come out. So we're getting First Class and Frankie Kazarian taking on Chavo and the Aztec Warriors.
Yeah. They had a heated kind of segment last week, which led to this match, which is typical for TNA, having somebody have a heated segment and then they wind up in a match next week.
How are you feeling though about Chavo in TNA?
I kind of like it a little bit. I kind of want to see how it kind of plays out over the next couple of weeks here if he's sticking around. But I like Chavo in the past, so I'm kind of excited to see what they do here.
Fair enough. Like I'm always kind of run hot and cold when it comes to Chavo.
Yeah,
Sometimes I really like me some Chavo, and he's kind of always been an underrated a bit of guy. And then sometimes I'm like, maybe you just ride off into the sunset there, Poppy.
the
But
true.
well, and now that you've got Christ Almighty, one's Octagon Junior, and you're gonna have to help me out with the other the half of the Aztec Warriors.
Oh,
It's not Grande Americano.
I can't
It's
think
not
of his
Lince
name.
Dorado.
Chat, help us out. I can't think of his name.
Fair enough, but I think if TNA might start going lucha around here, then having a guy like Chavo, and if you're especially he's a
Laredo
guy that
Kid.
always could help your X division, etc. Laredo Kid, thank you.
Yeah, I think so. You got the Colognes in there too. I believe they have officially signed. So they actually are in a way kind of beefing up this tag team division. If you think about it, we got the
Yeah,
Good Hands, we got the Colognes, we got the what is it, the Aztec Warriors? I think I
yes,
got
sir.
that right. We got First Class. We got the Rascals. Tyson and Tyreek have shown their faces. We got the tag team champions and the Hardys. So we actually got some pretty decent tag teams here.
Absolutely. Well, and that's been a thing that's been lacking recently across the board
Yeah.
in pro wrestling is tag teams. Good tag teams. But folks, let us know who you taking for this match. Whether you taking I guess Los Lotharios, Los Aztecas. I'm trying to come up with a faction name for Chavo, the Aztec Warriors, and the most I'm
Don't
getting
come up
to.
with a faction name that might have somebody fake outraging, but
Oh god, El Grande Chavoso, or I guess, or whatever. But yeah, as we've got Chavo Guerrero versus First Class in the crew. Figure it out. We'll figure out who you're picking.
Exactly. I'm going with Chavo. Chavo and his crew. That's how I'll just say it. Chavo and his crew to take this match.
El Grande Americano, froth or no froth. Yes, 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 and especially after how me and KJ even especially expressed how we felt on Tuesday. Yes, that is a comment of the night almost there. Fucking fake outrage and pearl clutch and fucking virtue signaling. But anyways,
A lot of it. A lot of it.
fun fact, Kid Laredo, the rap artist, is awful. Fun fact, I did not know there was a rap artist called Kid Laredo.
Me neither. So they said this is Chavo's first match in TNA in 12 years. This is a long time.
Yeah.
He looks to be in pretty good shape too.
Yeah, Mans looks he's done a lot of even the like coordinating stuff, I think, with like Queen of the Ring, and I think even with maybe Iron Claw.
Okay.
Did a lot of like the actual like in-ring choreography type stuff.
Okay, that's neat. Okay, so he's been in shape for a minute then.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, he's still kind of one of those guys of I'm not gonna say I want a job, but if somebody calls,
Right.
I will pick up the phone.
I'll be there.
Thank you for being a friend. Who you got? So you took Team Chavo.
Yeah, Team Chavo for the win.
Just for the sake of being different and being difficult, I'll take AJ Francis. And actually, if we want to talk about this, I know we've got the match going on, and shout out everybody in the chat. If I haven't clicked on you, if we haven't clicked on you, I apologize. But have you seen any of the back and forth a bit of Swerve sat down and had an interview with DJ Vlad and talked about a lot of things and everything, and very much brought up or was asked about when he and everybody and Christ, it's at that point I forgot the fucking faction's name, but when Swerve and crew were let go, of he very much, as I go to commercial, said AJ pretty much caused static and wanted to have a meeting with Vince over this and that, and basically he caused enough of a ruckus backstage that they just said fuck it, scrap everybody. But then AJ responded back to it.
Oh, I didn't see any of this. I've been in and out with the wrestling news this past week. I did see something where Swerve was talking about the firing of the group, and I'm like with you. I can't remember their names. It was something Row, Hit Row. There we go.
Hit Row. God damn.
Hit Row. So yeah, explain to me what's going on. So you're saying AJ Francis was the cause of the group being fired?
So I don't have quotes or anything pulled up. I could pull them up if I really wanted to, but so Swerve sat down and had an interview with DJ Vlad, who's interviewed a bunch of people in hip hop and wrestling and everything like that. And it got brought up about when he was let go from WWE. There's a couple other things that they cut out that were kind of quotable about, like when he was in NXT, stuff like that, of him getting people out of their contracts in Lucha Underground. But what I was bringing up is they brought up when he was let go from WWE, and pretty much all of Hit Row was, and I guess it was AJ wanted to have a one-on-one, had to have a sit-down, what have you, with Vince over BFAB or what have you. And then it started kind of getting rocky with them as far as bookings, etc. And then they got the call, and he pretty much found out through one way or another that it was because of AJ causing so many issues and upsetting people and basically making such a fucking ruckus backstage of all of that. And then AJ responded back with saying that never happened and da 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 da. And like I think even RM said yeah, right there, I have it pulled up, of AJ Francis, BFAB, and Ashante don't talk to Swerve anymore. So basically, a long story, a lot of he said, she said, but yeah, a lot of Swerve really unpacked a lot of stuff in that interview.
Interesting. I mean, from an outsider looking in, I do see that Swerve in a way, and I don't want to speak for Swerve or be one of those fans, but Swerve in a way does hold a lot of animosity towards WWE. And we've kind of seen that in a lot of his recent interviews. So I don't know. It could be true. It could not be true. I mean, the only one still standing in that group in the company right now is BFAB, because I think the other one got released. Didn't he get released?
No, Ashante's down in NXT. He's out there with Carmen Petrovich. He's out there hot dog in a grandstand and playing fucking horn dog Pepe Le Pew every week on Tuesday on NXT.
Oh, that is right. That is right.
Yeah, I sat there and when Jordan Grace sat there and had her whole Patrick Star rock outfit with the fucking big boots and everything, and then Ashante's got his glasses looking like SpongeBob in the background.
That is right. That is right. But I don't know. It's interesting. I actually will look that up, after stream and read about it. I did not know that was a thing this week.
Well, he talked about the comments from Booker T. He talked about, like I said, of essentially getting a lot of the talent out of their deals from Lucha Underground that was trying to lock them into crazy contracts. Like, he really talks about a lot. Like, I am a big fan of Swerve, and I really hope he beats Moxley at Dynasty.
Please.
Well, and I had this thought today as we're back in the action, though, but I'll say this, I almost don't like the term fumble anymore, because like I don't think Swerve would have ever been the Swerve that we have now if he stayed in WWE. It's the same thing, like say with like a Macklin that we have right now in TNA. That wasn't going to happen in WWE. It takes them going somewhere else that you really find what they are, and I love that Swerve's who he is now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like the term fumble. I actually was very outspoken about that middle of last year about it, and I got a lot of heat from it on Twitter, because people were like, we're just using that term as a sports term, which you guys, in my opinion, are not using it as a sports term. But I just feel like some people are just not meant to be in WWE. Some people just, I'm not saying they can't make it in WWE, but some people have to become stars outside of WWE to make it back to WWE. And it's just, I don't think it's a fumble. I just think it wasn't their time. That's kind of how I feel.
Well, some people just make it on their own outside of WWE.
Right.
Like, well, Russell, Swerve, lame as fuck. Swerve and Ricochet, both the same corny ass dude. No, no. I saw somebody today on Twitter as AJ Francis has got Octagon Jr. hemmed up in the ropes there, but I saw someone trying to compare Ricky Starks and Ricochet of Ricochet's just doing what Ricky Starks was doing, but better. No, entirely different characters, entirely
Right.
different personalities and everything. Entirely different. And if you don't like Swerve, if you don't like so and so, fair enough on you. But I think he's super talented and great.
Oh yeah,
And
I think Swerve is super talented. He's really came into his own in AEW. I really wish his first run with the title was better. That's why I hope with the second run, if they give it to him at Dynasty, let that man just cook for 5 to 6
he
months.
they came out with that stupid fucking pillars gimmick for AEW, and none of them were right. Swerve's definitely one of those actual pillars when it
Yeah.
comes to AEW. Of he, I almost dare want to say he's closer to like WCW Sting of becomes more synonymous with that brand than anything else.
Yeah.
Of I think Swerve, I think AEW. I almost don't think WWE anymore.
No, exactly. It's certain stars you just don't think WWE. Swerve is one of them. He was there for a period of time, but I don't think of Swerve as a WWE guy. He's made it perfect that
Right?
he's in AEW. Ooh, what was that?
AJ Francis just slammed both human beings. Both human beings.
And this is a
At the
prime
same
example
damn
right
time.
here of what we've been talking about. We wouldn't have not got this AJ Francis in WWE, but he's been doing really, really good in TNA.
I will admit, as much as I've poked fun and ha-ha'd and hee-heed at the man in WWE, AJ Francis outside of WWE, whole different cat.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, sir, I wasn't familiar with your game.
exactly. Yeah.
As heel team in control, 2 count. Byron, what up? SRS a hoe too. I mean, I ain't gonna deny that one. You can have that. That ain't even what I'm mad at. But Byron, I see you, and I've seen a couple people talk about this, and I want to try and we'll find a commercial if we can,
Yeah.
or a pause to talk about Evolution 2. I know you've been really championing that for a while, and it's been pretty much all but confirmed at this point that we're gonna get it here. So we'll talk about that in a half a second.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got Casey Navarro with a headlock on, I think that's Laredo Kid. I
That is
think
Octagon Jr.,
I
sir.
was wrong.
Laredo
See?
Kid is
That's
the
why I
one
said
with
I
the
think.
spikes. The
That
one
is
with the
exactly
spikes.
why I said I think.
Sherry agreeing with us. You're right. AJ Francis is better in TNA. Absolutely. 100%. And that's, again, you can list off guys Mustafa Ali, Steve Macklin, etc., etc., etc.,
Right.
that are better off sometimes outside of WWE has no longer become, thankfully, honestly, the end game. It is
Exactly.
kind of the highest game, but it is no longer the end game.
Yeah, it's not the end all be all. Even, I would personally throw, Ashba Elegance's name in there. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
valid.
had an up and down run with TNA. When she was doing her work with Jordan Grace, it was perfect. But Jordan Grace can also make people look really good. But she's wrestled very well, outside of WWE. Got a little shine. People speak about Ashba Elegance in a positive light. So everyone is just not meant to be in WWE. I do believe a lot of wrestlers' goals, and the majority of their goals is to make it to WWE. But when you make it to WWE, that might just not be the place for you.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can. I don't want to fucking compare it to spring football because spring football sucked a little bit. Hashtag XFL. I used to cover the XFL for this channel, but yeah, and not everyone might be suited for the NFL, but you can still play ball, and sometimes you ball out in those leagues, and that's what we've seen.
Yeah. Oh, Chavo to the top.
I got him on a backbreaker here.
Yep, there's a backbreaker now.
Oh, Eddie Strut, how you doing?
Chavo looking good in this ring right now.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I could see a last minute as we're gonna get the three amigos.
Looks like it.
We got dos amigos as Kazarian breaks up. Now he's gonna get the three amigos. Oh, now he's gonna get the three amigos. An amigo or an amigo?
Oh, AJ Francis is gonna break it up. Yeah.
That's the thing is I like Chavo is the guy that can kind of currently still go. I watch a Chavo match over a Jericho match.
Oh, I was sitting here just thinking that.
Yeah,
I was literally sitting here just thinking that.
Give me Chavo versus Bandito before you give me fucking Jericho versus Bandito.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, now we're gonna get the three amigos on AJ.
Three amigos on AJ, it looks like.
That's the three amigo grande. Grande Americano. Grande Chavo.
All right, we got two. Are we gonna get the third one?
Three amigos.
Three.
As we say that, Army Vitidios pops in. USA.
Oh, the Aztec Warriors doing something from the top.
Double splash. Well, one came up short and the other not so much as roll through small package. Casey Navarro, 2 count.
Oh, that was close. That was a close 2 count.
Gory bomb.
Nice. So far, best match of the night.
Give me some Chavo and TNA. Ooh,
right.
Chavo.
Sign Chavo.
Now imagine if you're Tony Khan. Oh, frog splash. 1, 2, 3.
That was a good match. I enjoyed that.
That almost redeemed everything we got to start this show.
Exactly. Exactly.
We got for a minute everything we had to start the show and thought we started here.
Right. And we still got some pretty good matches to go down with Nick Nemeth and Leon Slater, JC Jane and Masha. So yeah, this redeemed itself from the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, out in the West Texas town of El Paso. But now I was thinking of if I'm Tony Khan and I see what Chavo's out here still wrestling like, and I've got All In Texas. Do I maybe try and pony up some things because you got a Guerrero in Texas at an All In. If you can't do it in the UK, that's how you draw tickets. That's how you put asses in seats.
Absolutely. Do I throw some big bucks at Chavo Guerrero? I mean, if this match proved anything, Chavo Guerrero can still go.
Chavo's older than me and in better shape than me, and I don't know how to feel about that. I'm conflicted. Yes, Kim is retired and married to Chef Robert Irvine.
Yes.
Which is a fun fact and weird to know if you watch Food Network.
Right. As we head into commercial, so is this the time where we want to talk about Evolution 2? Yes,
sir. Fair enough. So it has been reported allegedly by WrestleVotes. I think actually a dude I know on Twitter, Corey Hayes, initially was talking about it. Hashtag PWN, more involved with this, yada yada yada. Of that, we're allegedly at this point, come summer 2025, we're going to get an Evolution 2 pay-per-view, and it should be allegedly announced before WrestleMania.
Yeah,
potentially the build-up. Yeah,
with a target date of, I believe, July 5th or June 5th.
June or July, around then. Again, like I said, summer 2025.
I think this is the perfect time
Mhm.
obviously. There's been a lot of fans that have been calling for it. I've been one of those fans that have been calling for it. We have the talent in the women's division, really specifically in NXT. NXT's women's division is cooking. Not saying Raw and SmackDown's is not, but NXT, they're up there. But we have, I think, 7 titles in the women's division. We got the 2 world titles, the 2 mid card titles. Then we got the tag team titles. Then we got the NXT North American Championship, and then the NXT Women's Championship. So that's 7 titles in the division. This is the perfect time where you can build some great stories heading into Evolution 2. I really hope they do it. I want to be there in person. I wanted to go to the first Evolution. I wasn't in the mental space to travel. I was kind of afraid to travel by myself, but since then I've been all over the United States going to wrestling shows. So I really want to be at Evolution 2, but this is the time. This is the time for Evolution 2 to happen.
Oh, absolutely. There's at this point, you could, Christ, just do that with the Knockouts division and NXT. You
Yeah,
don't even need to involve the main roster. There's
exactly.
that level of depth with this. Shout out Johnny Wrestling. It's about time we got Evolution 2. The women are so incredible. Absolutely, my guy. Now, does this coincide with a certain person who's no longer with AEW of Evolution 2 may be brought to you or hosted by This Is My House?
Having Paige back in WWE, I think she did say she was going to take some time away from wrestling, but if
I'm away from wrestling, bitch. You took 5 months and could have had another 6 months if you didn't leave your contract early.
exactly,
What are you talking about?
that would be perfect for Paige to make her return at Evolution 2. I would love that. Absolutely. I would like to see maybe, I don't know where the relationship is with Mickie James in WWE, especially since she won't be on LFG season 2. But I would love for this to be a place where Mickie James arrives to or returns to wrestling. I don't know. I'm liking the ideas here.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's been necessary. It's been fitting. We've seen it. You mentioned even with TNA, we've mentioned it with NXT. I mean, Christ, at this point, I feel like we've probably seen some Raws and some SmackDowns that are very much female centric,
Right.
because of how much, and we were still like, what's going on with Alexa Bliss? What's with this? What's with that? What about Becky? What about Bailey? And we're just in the B's. We're not even in the C's or the D's or anything when it comes
Yeah.
to that. So there's enough talent there to fill it out.
Oh yeah, they can, and this, I know WWE likes to do 4 to 5 matches. We don't need 4 to 5 matches on an Evolution card. I'm sorry, we need a bunch. Make this a 3-hour show if we need to, but 4 to 5 matches is not gonna cut it.
Well, yeah. Do you do 8 matches and do shorter matches, or do you do 5 matches and do long matches?
I would take the 8 matches in shorter time frames. I would definitely take that over 5 matches.
Fair enough. Fair enough. As I got a Rosemary video package.
Yeah, I don't know who she's directing this promo to. It could be the entirety of the Knockouts division.
Honestly, have you ever known who she's cutting a promo at?
Not
I love
really.
me some Rosemary, but are you talking to me or are you talking to them? Who are you talking to?
I think out of the whole time I've been watching Rosemary, I think the only time I knew who she was talking to was when she was about to face Masha at Genesis.
Half
I
the time
kind of
it
knew what
feels
she
like
was
she's
talking
talking to herself.
Right, exactly. She talks in parables, like I say that John Moxley does, but she does it better. So
That's not hard. That's not hard. But I will, as we've got Santina Morella in the middle of a table between Mance Warner and Sammy Callahan, and both men have their handcuffs on because they're so violent to get at each other that they need to be restrained to even sit across from each other.
Mance
That
Warner
is some nice little old school psychology touch.
Right. Absolutely. Mance Warner scares me.
I love me some Mance.
His eyes just
I'm not nervous when
destruction.
Stephanie Landers out there. The second Gail Kim's news comes out, and she's like, "What the fuck are we doing?" I'm like, "No, we just got Mance. We just got Mance. Don't take him away. Don't take him away."
If you want to talk about a feud that's been carrying NXT TNA over the past couple of weeks, it's been this one too. I've really enjoyed everything Sammy and Mance have put down since this all began.
And is it impressive that they managed to take all of the PCO stuff and just kind of Tai Chi ho 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 and just push that all away? Of like, there's no conversation about that anymore.
Yeah,
that whole moment's just been washed.
They were able to pivot away from that very well. I do believe Mance Warner, he's not recognized as a digital media champion right now, but I believe the original plan was for PCO to drop the digital media title to Mance Warner, but they had to change all of that, and they did it very well.
Well, Steph's got it now. Is she just threw a drink in? Was that fucking acid or something, or what the hell was in that? Was it like a cup full of screws?
Exactly.
Pocket sand.
Because the way he's reacting.
Yeah. Fucking Two-Face Sami Callihan about to show up at Rebellion.
Right. I don't know how you go from here, because I know they'll have another match. It has to be another stipulation, because the first one was a street fight. So I don't know what they do with the next one. It just can't be a straight up one-on-one type match.
Well, yeah, because the last one was the street fight that literally bled from the pre-show into the start of the show.
Right.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm very interested. That's a valid point, and especially weird kind of end to that, because what was in that goddamn cup that Sammy sold it like it was goddamn acid in his face?
Exactly. I need to know. Shoot, I need the Twitterverse to get on that to see what that was, because he was.
Did they say it was something that we didn't catch up on?
Right. I don't know.
Yeah. But Jorge, what up? 7 matches gives you a good number of matches. It's not too little, it's not too much. And I'm gonna say this respectfully. I don't know if there's a ton of women's matches right now. There would be some really good matches that you could have. I don't think there's too many that I would feel warrant, unless you're gonna go multi-women, warrant a half hour, warrant 45 minutes, an hour, what have you.
I can kind of concur with you there. It would depend on what type of stories they build towards Evolution 2 to see what match can get a lengthy spot. It depends on who is champion around that time. If Bianca Belair is champion, if she wins at WrestleMania and she holds it until Evolution 2, depending on who she may be facing, that could warrant a 20 to 30 minute match. But I kind of concur with you right there a little bit.
Fair enough. Agreed and concurred so much you went out of focus.
Again?
You're spitting too many hot takes at you're steaming up the fucking camera out there with all these hot takes, my guy. But Santino is sheriff now. Yes, he's out there in the wiki wild wild west. But yeah, Monsters Ball match, not a bad shout. I mean, it feels a bit with TNA of it's all kind of the same match, just under a different fucking name a little bit at times though. Like there is no evolution from like Street Fight, Monsters Ball. It's all just the same shit, just different name.
No, that's true. It's the same thing with a different name. They could, in a way, bring back Lethal Lockdown with a different cage, because I don't know what cage they had at Sacrifice. It looked like it came from the junkyard, but they could.
They bought it from Home Depot.
Exactly. They could do a Lethal Lockdown maybe between those two or something. But yeah, they gotta figure out something because it can't be a straight up singles match.
That would make the most sense to do something like that, to do it as a lethal lockdown of we've got now you can't be contained, so now we're gonna do the biggest thing and try and contain you as much as we can.
Right.
And you were already handcuffed. So now it's prison rules, bitch. You're in the yard. Mano y mano. Figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe up there, Taipei death match. One in the Mariah May, Tony Storm.
What it'd be I don't know, the maniac ending for them too.
Yeah, the fucking psychopath ending instead of the Hollywood ending,
right?
But Rent a Cage. Well, I'm gonna go check on the prices on Rent a Cage here real quick here, sir. But you can have JC Jane versus Masha Slamovic, non-title, I believe.
Yeah, this is non-title.
Fair enough. There you go. There you go.
There we go. As Nick takes a pause here and leaves me to it. So we are here with JC Jane versus Masha Slamovic. So if you don't know what kind of led up to this, last week after Masha's match, she was attacked by JC Jane. So this is kind of how we got here. I'm kind of excited for this match a little bit. See what happens there. Kyle down here is asking, do you have some ideas of matches you would like to see at Evolution? There is one match that was supposed to go down at the first Evolution, and I've been holding out hope that we can kind of get to that match. And that was Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss. If y'all don't know, I'm a huge fan of Alexa Bliss. That's my girl. I'm always champion Alexa Bliss. Trish Stratus in my top 5 of favorite women's wrestlers of all time. That match was scheduled to happen at Evolution 2. Alexa Bliss was injured, so it turned into a tag team match. I believe it was Trish Stratus and Lita versus Mickie James and Alicia Fox at that time. So Alexa Bliss was on the sideline cheering on Mickie James and Alicia Fox. I still want that match to happen between Trish Stratus and Mickie James. I mean, Trish Stratus and Alexa Bliss. That's kind of what I'm here for. Kind of needed to happen, like expeditiously. So we got Masha coming out to the ring. We're about to get the start of this match. Again, it's JC Jane versus Masha Slamovic in a non-title bout. So keep your eyes glued. This should be a good match. Damien, what do you want to be added to who do you want to be added to Moose's match in the Ultimate X Division Championship? I don't know. Ace Austin. Ace Austin is a good one. You could have one of the members of the Rascals be in there. Laredo Kid is an option. Trying to think of anybody else at this point. I don't know. You could have some NXT talent in there. You could really have Wes Lee be in that match. If you know, if availability is there for him to be at that pay-per-view. Jeff Hardy, but I feel like the tag team titles will be on the line at Rebellion, so that's kind of out of the option, but Jeff Hardy would be a nice one. I think they're setting up Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy defending the titles against the Ryan and Nick Nemeth. I think that's the big tag team match that they're building towards. Leon Slater has kind of been feuding with the system. You can add Leon Slater in the mix. That's a huge one who really could take the X Division title and run with it. That man is talented. So I would like to see Leon Slater in there. As Masha Slamovic just did some type of spinning dive through the middle rope on JC Jane, showing her athletic ability there. We got Unbroken up here. If I can get back to the comment. My mouse is not working that well tonight, so I got to use the trackpad here. But did you buy the Alexa Bliss doll? The Alexa Bliss doll is like $60. So absolutely not. I did not buy the Alexa Bliss doll. Let's see. Kyle down here. This might be a bold thought. What about possible Chelsea versus Nikki Bella? Now, I know the two counterparts on this channel, Nick and KJ, are not big fans of the Bella Twins. I do like the Bella Twins. I like Nikki. I like Brie. And seeing Nikki come back and make a return and challenge Chelsea Green, I really think that would be fun to see. But I'm kind of here for that match. Like I said, I like the Bella Twins. I like Nikki Bella. JC Jane in the corner. Oh, that was a nice kick to the face by JC Jane. Boston down here saying, I don't like Masha. I think she's overrated. I don't like that comment. I really don't. I don't like that comment, Boston. Take that back. MDB LMAO, you better use promo code and get that doll 20% off or something, Anthony. I'm just telling you, the WWE shop, since it's been taken over by Fanatics, prices have went up. I wanted to buy the Alexa Bliss shirt when she first returned at the Royal Rumble. I actually had it in the cart. I actually had my card number entered. And then when it added up the shipping costs and the Georgia tax and everything, the shirt was initially like $30. It turned out to be 45 with tax and shipping. And I was like, no, I'm not paying almost $50 for a t-shirt. Alexa Bliss knows that I like her. That's all that needs to be known. Damien says, I'm a fan of JC Jane. She has a lot of potential. She does. She really does. And right now, she's really taking it to Masha Slamovic in this match here. Sean, what up? Do you have any TNA championships? I really want the X Division belt. So yes, I actually have, off the top of my head, I have 4. So I have the TNA World title, the current one, the TNA X Division title, the one before the specially made one with Moose with the silver plates. I have the TNA Knockouts World Championship, which is currently not in my possession because it's being re-leathered. And I have the TNA Legends Champion, the old one back in the day with the red strap. I think at one point it was called a TV title. They had so many names for that title, but those are the belts that I have right now for the collection of TNA. MDB, I can make my own Alexa Bliss shirt for exactly. Ain't nobody spending $45 on the shop for that shirt. Crazy. JC Jane is really controlling this match. If anybody is not paying attention, she's really controlling this match. Boston says he's not taking his comment back about Masha Slamovic. I don't know there, Boston. We're gonna have to talk about that. Yes, that is correct, Rowan. That is the belt that Booker T created or brought to TNA. Really cool looking belt. It's really nice. The red leather for the strap, perfection, pure perfection. So if you're looking for TNA belts, you got to go do a little digging, but they're out there. Some people sell them on eBay. There's actually one I've been eyeing for a couple of months. I don't know if it's still up there, but it's the blue X Division title belt, and it's really nice. So yeah. Kyle down here, I kind of think we might get Masha versus Tessa. We're definitely getting Masha versus Tessa. Potentially at Rebellion. The earliest we get it is Rebellion. The latest we get it is Slammiversary. They're actually building up Tessa. I think Tessa's the one that's going to take the Knockouts title away from Masha. And then they'll have Tessa carry that division for a while there. So I'm kind of excited for the Tessa and Masha match. We've seen what Tessa could do with Jordan Grace at Genesis. Phenomenal match. Her match with Zia Lee or Lei Ying Lee in TNA, and that's a tongue twister, was great at Sacrifice. One of the best women's matches I've seen this year. On par with Jordan Grace versus Tessa, on par with Mariah May versus Toni Storm. Really, really good match at Sacrifice between those two. And again, as I look back at the screen, JC Jane is really carrying this match against Masha. really carrying this match. I'm kind of surprised here. I'm gonna need Masha to put some offense in here. MDB, I hope Tessa wins the belt. I want the chaos in the IWC. I'm starting to realize that MDB and I, as much as we might dislike one another, we have similar takes in wrestling. And I'm here for it. I'm here for Tessa to win the belt. I might not be liked after it, and that's fine. I don't care. Tessa winning the championship is what I need. What big match that you want to see at Unbreakable? I feel like Unbreakable is going to be a lot of NXT, NXT and TNA talent. It's the week of WrestleMania. I don't know where we go right now. Nothing is really building to Unbreakable, and I don't think we'll see anything really build until the next set of tapings. I do believe one match going down. I'm gonna call it right now. I do believe Lash Legends and Jakara will be taking on the Elegances, as I call them. And this could be the time where WWE talent win the TNA titles. So I'm gonna call that match going down at Unbreakable as Big Nick returns.
Yeah, you're talking about big matches. I heard big, so I just it was like the bat signal. But yes, 100% has to happen, my guy. I need something for Lash and Jackson. I've been a big fan of Lash Legend even before when she had her version of the Ding Dong Hello and everything like that. But
yeah. So I'm kind of excited for that. I think that'll go down at Unbreakable. This match right now between Masha and JC Jane has been really good.
Yeah, Boston. I'm glad you brought that back up, Anthony. Just in case you forgot, Masha's overrated.
I'm starting not to like Boston.
No, we go. I already don't like Boston, the city, so now Boston's just been taking that on a little bit. But yeah, no, I've been the biggest Masha fan on this channel. There was at one point, I think it was the PWI 500 in 2023, to where she was number 15 overall. She was higher in the men's ranking than she was in the women's and everything.
Yeah.
As she turns around and picks up the win. Yeah, no, she is a special fucking talent. She has shown that she can sit there. She comes off even as she is intimidating enough that she could go with any fucking guy. She seems as intimidating as shit as Jordan Grace, who's big as hell.
There goes Tessa.
And I don't want the Crimson Chain to win this goddamn belt. I know I heard you with that.
She does have a thick chin there. She does.
Where's Timmy Turner? Where's fucking Cosmo Warner? The Crimson Chain needs to go away.
Right. When it comes to Masha, when she first came to TNA, though, she was undefeated for a very long time. The person that defeated her was Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory 2022, I believe it was. And then Masha kind of had to find her footing there for a bit, and she got in that tag team with Killer Kelly, which I want them to revisit whenever Killer Kelly returns. But I really love Masha, and I think the match that really got me hooked that she can go with anybody is when she took on Jacob Fatu at Wrestling Revolver. Watching that match, I was in amazement of what Masha Slamovic can do.
Absolutely. And Boston, I will halfway concede your fucking point here, but rankings are opinions just as valid as Meltzer. Fair enough, but I don't know. Explain just beyond saying she's overrated, honestly, with that. And you know how to let me know. I'm sure you know how to let Anthony know. But yeah, I don't know where you get the overrated take from, especially because I feel like she's almost more on the level of underrated. Like, what is she overrated in TNA? Like, she's not even. I would say that there's an entire fan base that has no idea who Masha Slamovic is, and they're missing out.
I had a conversation with one of my followers on one of my videos where I was kind of touting Masha, and he felt like Masha was severely underrated. And I think so too. I think not enough people really know what Masha can do. Her match with both her matches with Jordan Grace, the one in 2022 and the one just this past year at Bound for Glory, phenomenal matches. She can really go. She really can. And if anybody hasn't seen the Jacob for two match versus Masha at Wrestling Revolver, that's a match you got to see. Even after the match, Jacob for two was like, she hits harder than the men. She was like that. He basically said she's a bad SOB. So that's one match you got to check out if you haven't seen it. Huge fan of Masha here.
Absolutely, absolutely. But as I'm just now the chat's making me goddamn laugh as I'm in commercial of Christ. Now I gotta find where this all started. But yes, so Bradley out here gifted memberships,
Yeah.
which by the way, we do have the memberships, we do have the super chats, the super stickers, we got all the gizmos and gadgets, all the buttons and baubles for you. And Bradley out here doing his best Santa Claus. I think this man's getting closer to 90 gifted subs than goddamn 80 at this point. Man's the biggest cheerleader, and I love it. Man, we gotta send you all the swag, my guy.
Yeah, Bradley just throwing out the gifts there. Oh, and C Money wants to answer back with his own gifting somebody a membership.
Because C Money, that's where I was getting to, was C Money was the one that got gifted from Bradley. So now C Money, and you love to see it of again. This is why we are not the IWC, why we are the WFU. Christ, at one point, I think Bradley ended up accidentally gifting me somehow a membership to the channel and everything. As by the way, he was shouting out the Yankees won opening day. So let's go with that. Absolutely. I'm in commercial, but let's go Yankees. We're already 1-0.
Everybody talking about sports but me, because I never know what's going on.
Fair enough. Well, we're in commercial break, and here's something I wanted to bring up of how do you feel about where do you lie on the idea of Sting inducting Luger into the Hall of Fame? Does Tony bend the knee? Does has WWE soured that relationship? Where do you stand?
I don't think I would love for Sting to be the one to induct him. So I'll get that right out of the way. I think Sting should be the one to induct him. I don't think Tony caves. I just don't think he does. I remember the last time I forgot who wanted to be on WWE TV. I can't remember, but it was somebody from TNA, and Tony Khan wanted the AEW logo, from what I'm understanding, to be shown on WWE TV, and they just didn't. WWE didn't want that to happen. I forgot, like I said, I forgot who it was who they wanted to come over. I think it was Billy Gunn. Is it Billy Gunn, the one with the
Billy Gunn's been the biggest fucking flag in the ground for this whole thing, because he showed up at the DX Hall of Fame ceremony and everything, I believe, or something around that. And that's when they were calling AW a pissant company.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really want Sting to be there to induct him, but I don't think it happens, to be honest.
As I'm getting another replay of the Mustafa Ali, Mike Santana feud here, which has been so good. And I'm going to ask this question, and I don't know if I need to do this voice to make it work with asking this question, but how is this with, Mustafa Ali trying to get, Mike Santana out of here and saying that he's a no good, he does nothing, he's a drunk, he's this, he's that. How is that much different than Chad Gable wears the fucking lucha mask and everybody loses their goddamn mind about it?
For some reason, I didn't think you were going there.
Fair enough.
That was not where I thought you were going.
I don't know where you thought I was going, but you can go either way, my guy. Choose your own adventure.
But it's just the IWC, I guess. They pick and choose what they want to fight. Prime example, at Sacrifice, Tessa Blanchard was dressed in lucha stuff, and the internet hated it. Right? And the internet hated it. But on the show, there was another tag team that was dressed up in lucha merch, and it was Ash and Heather, and the internet said nothing. They pick and choose.
Yeah, but when you got a track record,
but still,
if you know for cheating, they still gonna double check your test a couple times, my guy.
I just feel like when it came to that situation, Tessa Blanchard like lived in Mexico for, I think she still lives in Mexico.
That's because
for
she got
over 7
exiled.
years.
I digress.
But you got the elegances that have nothing to do with lucha or anything coming out dressed the same way. I just feel like you got to call each moment the same way.
I don't know if I go that comparable. I might go the Harley Graham, the Jericho stealing Gravity's mask and everything. That might be, you know, more. I don't know if I want to touch the Tesla shit with a 10-foot pole, my guy.
I'm just saying. I'm just pointing
out. I know,
and
I get it. And it's one of those of like, I'm white, so what the fuck do I have to say? I have the quietest voice of this. I sit down and shut the fuck up when it comes to
it's just, I think it's just been wild over the past week of what people have said over
the. I know MDB loves to always sit there and pop in with the hashtags and everything, and I'm sure he sat there and dropped it as a comment and everything, but hashtag, you know, fake outrage, hashtag pro clutching, as I've got Ace Austin versus EY right now. As Scott becoming a member for 20 months, Sting will be induct announcement coming soon. Yeah, I really want to finish talking about that point and everything, because I was listening to Busted Open earlier today, and they were talking about one topic, and it led to this conversation, and it really got me thinking about this. So when we get to another commercial, we'll find there. But yeah, Boston becoming a member for 17 months. Masha is overrated and it knows it. No, we'll never admit it. I will die on this hill. I've died on less hills. I've died for less. I will die again.
You've died on less hills.
Exactly. I 100% have. Rob, what up? Ken. But yes, let us know who you got in this match, folks. Whether you got, I gotta switch them. Slide to the left. EY versus Ace Austin with dual Casey Jones behind him. Yeah. Who do you think will make WWE NFL beat? Huh?
That's a lot in that one sentence.
You started, and not gonna lie, you had me in the first half, and then who do you think? And then I don't know the second half.
Right. We're still trying to decipher the second half of that question.
Right. And well, KJ, when you see this, in the words of James Storm regarding your opening day today, sorry about your damn luck. So Bradley out there taking shots at KJ and the Toronto Blue Jays.
Ooh, they must have lost.
Perhaps. Well, it's hard when there's 162 games in baseball to get super excited respectfully for like game one. Like, it's not like there's like 16 in the NFL. Like, fuck, this one loss might cost us the season. I got 161 other games.
I know nothing about baseball. All I know is I've tried to watch a game on TV and it was boring as crap. And I never tried again.
It's the same thing with like wrestling, big spine buster from UI, but it's the same thing with wrestling, with any sort of sport. I feel maybe not football, just because, I don't know, it's not as fun when you're in like the fucking upper echelon fucking seats in the nosebleeds. And they look like Tecmo Ball, but see it live and you will watch it differently for the rest of your life.
That's what I heard, that you actually have to go to a game to explain.
Well, I've been to a few like UFC events, and I know whenever I tune on UFC, I watch it entirely differently. Same thing with wrestling. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else has done that. Of you go to any sort of live event with something.
I mean, I went to a Hawks game a couple of years ago. My brother
Mm.
got free tickets for selling the most cars at his job, and so we went, and I thought I was gonna watch basketball after that, but I didn't. So it was a great game. It was fun to be there, and the two drunk girls that were in front of us were even funnier. But I just, yeah, I thought I was gonna watch after that. I've never been to a football game. I've actually passed up tickets to go to the what is our team? The Falcons. I've passed up free tickets.
Yeah, well, you're asking me. You're a Buffalo guy that lives in Atlanta. What is our team? I thought our team was the Bills. I guess your team is the Falcon.
But I think actually this year the Falcons are playing the Bills here in Atlanta, and I think we're talking about going. So I'm like 99% sure my brother is going. Do I tag along? I have to make that decision.
You need like the crossover jersey, like the half Buffalo jersey, half Falcons jersey there.
Right.
Ace Austin with all the clotheslines in the corner.
I really don't know, and this is my favorite line, how we got to this match. Like I don't remember an altercation between Ace Austin and Eric Young to get to this match, but
because it'll be a good match.
I think that's the case. And not every match has to have some type of story to get to it. I do know that.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the reason why we probably have the build to this is because it'll be a fun match.
Right.
MDB already out there. To be fair, the Hawks wouldn't get anyone in the basketball. Shots fired. Alan, who do you think will make their WWE debut, Gail Kim or Britt Baker in 2025? Well, Britt Baker's under contract for a hot minute. So unless they go to fucking wrestling court, go to divorce court, she's there for a minute. She can throw a temper tantrum, delete this or delete that off of fucking whatever social media platform. You sign the contract.
Right. If I don't see I think Gail Kim is like retired. She might do the one-off matches. But if Gail Kim goes to WWE, it's definitely going to be in a backstage role. That's like I don't know if she'll be booking the women's division or anything like that, but Gail Kim, yeah, she's like retired.
Oh, she goes anywhere. She's backstage role. Maybe you get lucky and she has like a match as Ace Austin's taking out all the fucking Casey Joneses. But now it becomes, does she go to WWE and say she becomes the general manager of NXT? Maybe
she
just
could
maybe
and replace
she go to AW and I'm gonna run the women's division over here and
she could go to WWE.
I'm gonna make this my vision.
She could go to WWE and replace Ava as NXT general manager. I do know Gail Kim and WWE have to mend fences a little bit because people kind of forget that she eliminated herself from a Divas Battle Royal and then quit the company in the same second. So anything can happen though, because we've seen CM Punk come back. So
she Ace Austin herself.
Yeah. So I mean, I can see her going to WWE. AEW could use her, but will AEW use her is the question. Because so I don't know.
As EY picks up the win.
I wonder if Steve Macklin kind of gets involved here. Are they going to set something up? I don't know.
I wish I actually felt impressed or intimidated or anything by his two little lackeys there.
Say that again.
EY's two little lackeys.
Oh, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams.
Judas Icarus, is that a fucking actual name?
That's his actual name.
Yeah, but that just felt like I don't, but you might fight me at a gas station. I don't know. Well, where else this might throw down here. You don't intimidate me, sir. You do not impress me.
Yeah, they got to find their footing. They haven't really had that much of exposure even when they were with Josh Alexander. So they kind of got to find their footing here a little bit.
Right. Judas Icarus. What the hell? Absolutely.
Or I will leave you guys with Nick here for just a second.
There you go. Anthony's playing his Judas Icarus as he's. There we go. I think I figured out. But yes, Anthony's taking a pause for the cause. I was making a joke. I lost my joke. I wouldn't mind seeing Paige replace Ava as general manager. Could be a thing, and it could be if they're going to do the Evolve pay-per-view and everything. It would be interesting if that's where Paige came back of. And again, does Paige go to WWE? If it's kind of came out that her promo shots at WWE of it's nice to finally have a boss who listens to me of was Tony fed lines. So does she go back to WWE? If she goes to WWE, she's just backstage, a on-screen managerial position. She's not wrestling. Does she go to TNA? Maybe do something there. Does Paige replace Gail Kim? Oh God, I might have triggered Anthony with this. But it'll be interesting. I think her run in AEW was the biggest mess. Of it felt like it should have, could have, would have been so much more, and even she didn't seem like she was too happy with it. But I digress. Did Josh Alexander going AEW? Timmy, that's been the alleged story. We have not seen anything to confirm nor deny it, but I think at times it gets concerning when you don't have enough to confirm it, that it might have been something you should have denied. I'll leave it at that. Tony is a con after all. Well, I don't know of like to an extent, AEW is the furthest from WWE it's ever been. And now with them kind of, I don't want to say exactly good PR in the way of we're letting people go that we're cost cutting, but also people know we have them under contract that probably need to let go. Are they really moving themselves into a proper advantage here? As the Hardys We Are Forever merch, hashtag not sponsored, available for TNAs. I'm getting Joe Hendry popping out right now. If I was a good host, I would have found the video to pitch to our merch if it's there. Yes. I won't cut to it now as we've got Joe Hendry, but Amy Johnson, solid match so far. What match, sir? You are, I don't know if I'm behind you or ahead of you. Yeah. I've got Joe Hendry walking out because we're about to find out what's next for Joe Hendry, who we thought was going to show up and be Jay's mystery partner in Glasgow. And then I don't know if we exactly got disappointed, but we built up that hype and I don't know. Sour taste. I wanted Joe. I want more Joe on my TV. Boston believes in Joe Hendry. Does anybody interrupt Joe Hendry? I would assume if it's setting up what's next for him, I would assume someone else is going to be involved here. I will say that. The rumors are Shane McMahon taking over CEO of AEW. Those haven't been the rumors for quite some time, my guy. There's even still speculation of, well, there's been the one story that Shane wanted to basically own AEW and buy Tony essentially out of it and run it that way. And there's also been the rumor that basically AEW kind of bum rushed Shane to, hey, if you want to hear about our sales pitch, here we go. So come see, come saw. But I got Joe Hendry on my television. What is next for Joe Hendry? Yeah, Shane and AEW, I think, is rather unlikely. I'm like a good 15 to 20 seconds behind your feet. Well, I digress and I apologize, but I mean, that's not too far off, my guy. I feel like we're with the vitamins, I'm at least 15 to 20 seconds. I feel behind the chat. I'll put on that way, honestly. Joe Hendry versus John Cena. John Cena? John Cena. No, Christopher, don't you say that. The TNA World Champion is going to be. Been hearing rumors so many times, never show up on AEW. Oh, Shane. Fair enough. Say his name and grows a beard. I believe in Elijah. I still think at some point this man is turning, we're going to get some song singing and guitar picking between Elijah and Joe Hendry over that TNA world title. And honestly, if I'm TNA, I start this soon, fast, and heavy here. Because I mean, granted, you've got next year's new WrestleMania New Orleans, so you could build towards that. I forgot about that. But I was gonna say, if you've got two guys that got that, song singing and guitar picking gimmick of Viva Las Vegas, ain't a bad shout for them to, throw down, and you could sit there and have one's having one show on, at this hotel, and this one's doing that show at that hotel. But yeah, Elijah out here. I'm glad Elijah's here, and I think this is really the kind of perfect fit for this to be a bit of a feud right now. Because I do really think, honestly, that Elijah's really good in ring. But he gets everybody over. He can get himself over with anything. Like, super talented, super charismatic as a personality. But in the ring, he's actually underratedly talented. So we're about to sing You Got a Friend in Me. You got a friend in me. Hey, folks, right now, 100%. If you hit subscribe, if you hit a like, if you hit the bell notification, if you drop a comment, I'll do my best. Randy Newman, you got a friend in me. Near me. And yeah, Elijah's out here. You got a friend in me. Ooh. See it through. I'm trying not to do Randy Newman, but you can only sing the song. And Randy Newman, if you were a kid in the 90s, early 2000s, all you're thinking of is Toy Story, fucking Woody and Buzz right now. You got a friend in me. That's the thing is Elijah was Joe Hendry before Joe Hendry was Joe Hendry. I'll put it that way, respectfully. And I stand on that. I stand 10 toes down on that. It's goddamn Kazarian out here. So we've got the Elvis impersonator coming out to interrupt. You got a friend in me. Call your shot gauntlet winner. Hall of Notes. Well, he's more, I don't know if he's more Hall or more Oates, but yeah. Does he have a bass guitar? It almost feels like. I hate you and I hate you. Ooh, walk with Elijah. Yeah, we walk with Elijah. One of the Toy Story, absolutely. Restaurants, the Shane McMahon nonsense got to stop. It's never, we are never, ever, ever, gonna happen. Never was. Yeah. It would be insane if it ever did happen, and would be the greatest trick the devil ever pulled. But the likelihood is slim and none. Hall and Oates, yeah. He will always be Elias to me. It's hard not to call him it. I mean, Elijah's just ever so close. Yeah, so Kazarian has essentially a bass guitar out here. Which I literally can't hear whatever he is trying to play. Like, as the crowd chanting, "You suck." Yeah, I don't literally didn't hear him play actually anything. He just kind of strummed at the guitar. Joe was doing this way before Elijah watched his work in ICW. Yeah, fair enough. I know when I'm the one that, granted, when he was with WCPW, when he was doing the Prestige and everything, he kind of wasn't this. So I can see very much. I mean, Christ, if you want to say was Grado doing it before Joe Hendry, but that's slightly different. So, as they're literally deafening everything out with "Walk with Elijah." But that's why I think, though, that this is like a perfect little pairing, and it works with TNA. It fits. They can make it work, and these both guys can absolutely fucking wrestle and can carry a story. As Kazarian is the fucking lead anchor of this. Kazarian back out here, yeah, just to fucking go away. The one guy don't want to see his world champion Frankie is out here. Yeah, is the Frankie Kazarian, even though he hasn't cashed it in, is his little cup trophy thing already worse than Christian Cage with his clipboard title shot? Kazarian doing the Jericho impression. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I mean, we haven't really. I know KJ probably talked about it, but I don't know if Anthony or I have really talked about fucking. I was trying to literally remember the kid's name because I watched a fucking clip of him hitting a Judas effect on someone in a ring. Like, but on Instagram before we went live earlier today, I literally watched that goddamn kid. Axel hit a fucking Judas effect after he had no interaction with Jericho. But anyways, yeah. You're fired from the band. This segment is getting bad. Yeah, it is. If I say your name and make you disappear, like, we've had some really good moments and some really entertaining stuff on TNA tonight, and we've had some really holy shit, fuck you, we didn't need this. Oh, you could have cut this all the way out stuff. We started it off with the cake in the face spot, and now Kazarian, this is awkward. This is 50-year-old dad trying to be cool with the 20s and 30s. Yeah. Big Nick saying it last week. What did I sing? Oh, yeah. Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, which I actually attributed to wrong artist. It's not a Johnny Cash song. I thought it was. Yeah. So they're still doing the tapings on here in El Paso. We get the little brief altercation between Joe Hendry and Elijah as Kazarian kind of shoves Elijah into Joe Hendry. Yeah. How are we feeling so far on TNA? It feels like they're doing a little the do-si-do, I guess, out here in Texas of, 2 steps forwards, 3 steps back a little bit. Green Nick, I keep saying it. Joe and Elias are the same act. I can't get behind the Hendry gimmick. Maybe one day, I believe. I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying that. I still very much believe in Joe Hendry. I think that they're as much as everybody got behind Elias and everything, and it's still behind him. I think it works with Joe Hendry as we're getting them trying to sing off Kazarian with the na. Yeah, but see, you can't do this in the same week to where, well, it's not the same week, but Christ, with especially the Brussels crowd that was singing off John Cena. Oh my God, that's if you ever wanted a recording of that audio, like to get that crowd effect version of that song, that's it. Yeah, we're getting the na. Just throwing out Kazarian. This is the world title segment. Why is it so bad? Yes, I'm trying to sell you a bag of goods. I am out here like the goddamn guy from Aladdin of, also makes julienne fries will not break. It broke. Because, yeah, so we're focused more on sunglasses. I don't know who's challenging right now. Joe Hendry, what's next for Joe Hendry for the world title? We just had Kazarian reminding everybody that he could cash in, and Elijah shows up to have a jam session with him. So, I mean, I'm hoping it leads to something. I hope it leads to some sort of a fucking heel turn or something from Elijah. But yeah, we were going good. They were doing well. And then again, another just dud of a segment. As I am in commercial break, as we are about to get, when we come out of this, Nick Nemeth versus Leon Slater. I will remind everybody, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We are back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow for 3:45 early start time, because over in London, over in the UK, still wrapping up this European tour, starting at 3:45 Eastern Standard Time. How you doing, sir?
I am good. That segment was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Not trying to be like negative Nancy here, but I have not been a fan of Joe Hendry's title run, to be honest.
You just got all the hottest takes here.
Yeah, I haven't, like, his matches have been great. So I know he beat Nick Nemeth. He beat Alex Hammerstone. He also faced Jake something, I think. Those matches were great, but there hasn't been a solid story for Joe Hendry since winning the title. So I don't know what we're doing here with Joe Hendry, to be honest.
Really? So you don't like the idea of Elijah? How do you feel about Kazarian and all that?
I think when it comes to Kazarian, I think they lost the time when they could have used that what is it, call your shot, for him to actually call his shot. I think honestly that time has passed, and I actually forgot that he was holding that trophy until earlier today, earlier in the show when he came out. And then when it comes to Elijah, someone just needs to be a heel, because the build with Nick Nemeth versus Joe Hendry was face versus face, and the build did not hit. The match was great, but they were trying to find animosity and heat between Nick Nemeth and Joe Hendry, and it wasn't there. It just wasn't there at all. So if we're gonna do something with Joe Hendry this time and give him a good story, obviously Joe Hendry is not the one turning heel. If it's going to be Elijah needs to be heel, and he can play a heel role. So they got to do something here.
Oh, that is 100% where I'm at with that, as I'm in commercial break, and shout out everybody in the chat. But yeah, I think Kazarian's the cannon fodder, as I literally was questioning, do we do it when we're in Vegas? Do we do it next year all the way? That would be a long way to wait, but when we're out there in New Orleans, but you sit there and you get some song singing, some guitar picking. We've already seen, Elijah Elias out there, sit there and record a whole album, sit there and do a whole little show on Bourbon Street and everything. If we get a situation like that, if we get Joe Hendry on the Vegas Strip and Elijah on the Vegas Strip, both holding, little concerts and everything, I
Yeah.
think that as babyface heel might be that nice little touch, that little way to go about that with that story.
Yeah, you can do that. You can tie that up in Vegas or start it at Vegas. You got the next set of TV tapings happening in like a week. I actually think it's this weekend, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can start that. You can start that build to Rebellion, where if that's where they want to have the first match, that'd be great. I can see that happening, but I'm a strong believer that someone got to be a heel, and obviously it'll be Elijah. But I'm
Oh
here
yeah,
for
I think he works the heel,
it.
and
Yeah.
that's what he was when he was out there WrestleMania 34, I want to say, when they were out there in New Orleans the last
Mhm.
time. And he's out there, doing little shows at bistros and everything.
Right.
Um, if he's going to be the one that can actually go out there and outwit and, song singing and guitar picking versus Joe Hendry, uh, having the baby face and the heel go back and forth amongst the Vegas Strip might be interesting.
Yeah, might be something to see. And Unbreakable would be the time for that to happen. So, yeah, I kind of hope they pull the trigger on that.
Right. But how you feeling with we've got Nick Nemeth versus Leon Slater, main event, I assume, of TNA, Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth now new faction heel team. As did you see Ryan Nemeth of anyone else have a billionaire show up to sue them right before they go on stage for their off Broadway, performance or what have you?
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. That was kind of crazy. But going to Nick and his brother as a tag team, they've been hinting towards this for a while. And I'm kind of glad it happened. And Nick turned heel. I think this will be great. I think them going up against the Hardys, that match will cook when it happens. So I'm excited for it. And then Leon Slater really is honing into his craft in TNA. Future of the X division. One person that I can see if he's in the Ultimate X match at Rebellion could take the title that night. Leon Slater's doing some good things. I really like seeing him in the ring.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Leon Slater. Nick Nemeth is like Jericho when he first started with AEW. Do I dare say? I know. I hope he doesn't end up as bloated and floated and everything as Jericho is, but kind of is there same kind of 90s rock story, nostalgia, gimmicky shit of I'm here more because I'm a name to other people that wouldn't know TNA besides say, oh, that guy that played Dolph Ziggler. Oh, he's in TNA now, type of thing.
Yeah, he's definitely there to more so to help grow TNA with his name. And I think he can do it. He's been he's definitely not a Chris Jericho because he definitely can still go in the ring.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I'm not saying he's there, but he
yeah,
might be. I see the journey of the path there.
yeah. But I agree with you there. He's more there for his name and to kind of build the company a little bit with his name, which I think he can do. So we'll see.
Yeah, which I mean, still talented guy. I'm surprised that Christ, do I call him Tom Pastock? Do I call him Baron Corbin? Do I call him what was it? Fucking Dire Wolf or whatever his new actual wrestling name is? Baron Corbin. Of he's a guy I think that would be great in TNA.
Oh yeah, I know he's doing some dates with MLW, but
Mhm.
absolutely would be good in TNA. That's someone who, if you need a top heel in the division outside of Mike Santana, you can not Mike Santana, I'm sorry, Mustafa Ali, you can
Right?
get him. You can get Baron Corbin.
Oh, absolutely. See, money. Did you see AW claim going to Discovery would be interest to their company by revealing Ryan? Oh, yes, Ryan Nemeth's contract. We know it's full of NDAs. What is there to keep secret? Yeah, I'm not a lawyer. I haven't stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. I'm just a small town bird lawyer. But yeah, this whole situation is above my pay grade. But it seems very messy and very ticky tacky.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent to Kevin Kelly's lawsuit against AW and Tony Khan. Same thing with the boys from Dalton Castle. Like, there is there's legal action against both companies to an extent. One's more towards the former owner, one's towards the current owners.
Right.
Leon Slater hits a holy shit move over the top.
Yeah. Did you say Kelly with a lawsuit?
Kevin Kelly.
Kevin Kelly.
Not
Okay.
Kelly.
I was like, wait a minute.
I'm a lawsuit girl in a lawsuit world. Wrestle Laws, bro. There's going to be a wrestling show at Holiday Inn in Cocoa, Florida. I'm in love with the Coco. What?
Man, they've done wrestling shows in churches before, Wrestling Lutz. So
We were here watching
Yes,
that.
we were.
That was House of Glory before WrestleMania 40.
99% sure that was a
Catholic. The Biblics.
Right. 99% sure that was a Catholic church they were in. So
they were dunking people in the baptismal water and everything. Our Yankees barely pulled it out today, 4-2. How's that barely pulled it out? You won by 2 runs. Turns out it's a collab show, JCW versus ALW Wicked Game. Fair enough.
Sounds interesting.
Russell, you coming in hot and heavy talking about something else. Yeah.
As we're sitting here on commercial waiting for the return of the main event.
So, well, no, I know I brought this up earlier, and I don't think I'm coming back around to it.
Yeah.
The Sting Lex Luger Hall of Fame introduction and everything.
Yeah.
Would you say Tony lets it happen?
I don't think he does.
I would hope he pulls the higher ground and realizes if I'm going to be the alternative versus WWE that's historically known for not working with other promotions. And I know there's plenty of reasons why, if you want to be nitty gritty with it. But take the higher ground, let that happen. And I honestly think you would see a ceasefire. You would see arms let down across Twitter, across social media. You would see people all agree that that's kind of what needs to happen. That's just some really cool shit that needs to happen in wrestling. Like, that's the world is healing type of shit of stupid fucking, goddamn tribal lines should not get in the way of really cool shit in wrestling.
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah, no, I agree there. I agree that like that stuff doesn't need to be involved with wrestling. I would hope Tony Khan, I don't like to say someone has an ego or a big ego because I don't know these people. Just from seeing the stuff that's been posted online, I would hope TK would set down his pride a little bit if that's what he has towards WWE and kind of allow this to happen. It would be nice for the wrestling fans to experience something pretty cool between both companies.
Well, and I will say this as we are back in action as Ryan Nemeth now stomping on the face of Leon Slater as I see ABJ, Christopher, everybody like that. Mega. Ooh, the Mega. But we know it's been a back and forth discussion. We don't know if anything, and we'll probably never know until when it actually happens, if anything's locked in, what the end result is. But when you have Punk come out there and say, I work with children lions, and you have still little pot shots here or there.
Yeah.
And the Billy Gunn Hall of Fame situation still very much hangs over a lot of AEW fans, I'll say, heads and everything. Of is it would you be mad at TK if he says no?
Honestly, no, I wouldn't be mad at either party, saying no to this. Because there is heat, there is animosity between WWE and AEW. But it would just be so cool in the wrestling world where it's so much tribalism and hate for one night to see something cool like that.
That is the
Yeah.
ultimate takeaway with that. Of that, it would be respectfully, that's the ceasefire. Like,
Yeah.
that's how you point out they're an asshole. Get him. If you're mad at that, if you're gangbanging on Sting introducing or inducting Lex Luger into the Hall of Fame on any platform, and I get, oh, well, they wouldn't let Luger show up at Sting's retirement. I get this, that, and the third. I get whatever fucking reason you want to have to it. That's just a really cool moment. And let everybody just shut the fuck up for a minute and have a really cool moment together.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the moments in professional wrestling. That's what I've known.
You don't get them back. You don't get them back.
Right. You can't redo moments. And I
Right.
think that'd be something cool to see. If they can make it work, please make it work. Please make it work.
Tony, I'll do something strange for a little piece of change. I don't know if you want to take that offer, but I'm offering it. Can't wait for Malachi Black. Well, you're going to have to wait until post WrestleMania. I've started to think that more of that 4 and the other smoky signals and everything is coming up is just pulling out the date of when he's going to debut.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do think it's gonna be after WrestleMania, maybe the Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown after Mania, but yeah, it's definitely gonna be after Mania. I'm ready for Ray Phoenix to show up too.
Now, well, it's interesting if he's going to show up on SmackDown when his brother's on Monday Night Raw.
Right. I don't think any of the vignettes for at least Ray Phoenix have been shown on
No,
Raw.
they've been all on SmackDown.
They've been all SmackDown, yeah. Ooh.
Famous, sir.
Famous, sir.
1, 2, dos amigos. What are gang banging over sharks now? What the fuck? What's your favorite dinosaur? Maple Leafs are playing the Sharks. Oh, maybe that's where we're going with this, but Maryland chokes, I guess. 4/24/25 fade to black. Yeah, that's been the alleged date of when he'll show up. Is very much post.
Is that a SmackDown or is that a Raw? That date?
I believe it's a SmackDown.
Okay, 4/24/25.
No. What do you call Malachi Black in business attire? Malachi slacks. Fucking dad
MDB.
joke.
I was just about to say MDB with the dad jokes.
But Leon Slater firing back on Nick
Leon
Nemeth
Slater
here.
didn't like that.
I don't know if we've asked, but let us know, folks, who you're taking for this match, and I will remind everybody, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications, because you never know when we're going to be popping up, because we've got, Friday Night SmackDown starting off in the middle of the afternoon tomorrow, 3:45 Eastern Standard Time, and then on Sunday, we'll be back here for the trial of John Cena, which Judge Anthony will be presiding over this case of John Cena versus the fans of who can see who.
Absolutely. This is gonna be a fun one. This is gonna be a fun one on Saturday. I mean on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm trying. You trying to move the court date up? I see, because the fucking games are already being played here, folks. Yeah, I'm already going to be trying for a mistrial here, but I believe I'm taking on the sides of the fans and everything like that. But yeah, I'm already trying to figure out my case here.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be a heated battle between Nick and KJ on Sunday. So y'all gotta be locked in.
Yeah, well, it's surprising. No Dwayne involved in none of this. No Dwayne, no
Dwayne.
Travis Scott. They just got off scot-free. They must have flipped.
Absolutely. Oh, you got Leon and Nick at the top rope.
Superplex. Ooh, knocks off Nemeth. Now, see, that's the thing is this man's in like the center of the ring, and I was gonna say normally you'd want someone closer to you if you're gonna hit a move off the turnbuckle.
Right.
Like, I believe this man could hit him in the center of the ring.
Yeah. Oh.
Poor Blue Jays got blown out 12-2 by the Orioles.
I'm assuming today was like opening day for baseball.
Yes, today was opening day for baseball.
Okay.
I know you have no investment in it. You got a few teams to pick from. You got like the Braves. If you want to stay in Atlanta, you go back to New York. If you could take the Yankees or the Mets, you could go side with KJ and take the Blue Jays. You could just go completely heel and take the Red Sox or the freaking Orioles. Yeah.
There's options, it sounds like.
You got plenty of options, my guys, just in one conference. Yeah. Nick Nemeth for the win. Nick Nemeth for the win.
Seems like Nick Nemeth is tuning up the band here. Ooh.
Got him. What the?
Ooh. That was nice.
What is it? Does he call it? Is it a twisting? It's a twist of fate means a skull crushing finale.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Well, I thought they called it something. I'm like, what the fuck do you call that? Knees up on the Swanton 450 small package. 1, 2 count. Dos amigos, dos.
Oh, yeah, he was taking too much time getting up to
the
top.
Package, 1, 2. We're getting to the end of this.
Come on, Leon. Tom Hannafin on commentary. Come on, kid. Oh God,
make yourself famous. Danger Zone. Oh my God, fucking Dolph Zigglypuff is so much just 80s and 90s nostalgia.
Right.
They could come back with like hair metal music or 8-bit music, they would.
So we got Nick Nemeth with the win, pinning Leon Slater, which was an exciting match, especially towards the end.
Best match of the night. Best match of
the night, and then I'll give that tag team match with AJ Francis and them. That was the second, and Chavo, second best match.
I actually might give that match the night. Give this the second.
There's the Hardys, or is it both of them, or just both?
Both. Matt literally looks like he got a fucking lobotomy or something. Exactly. Why are you so bruised on your forehead? The Nemeth. That was nasty Nemeth. Avoid the
right.
It's a fucking band-aid. I was like, what in the bruises that shit? What was that face from Ryan Nemeth?
I don't know.
Man, literally.
So they're not medically cleared.
We will be cleared by Rebellion, though. So come, Rebellion. We'll have our Rebellion. We'll see you at Rebellion. Rebellion.
Right. So it looks like they're making it official for Rebellion.
Yeah, well, because that was Zigglypuff's whole pitch there is, I'm part of the best brother tag team now of all time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that match. I've kind of been wanting that match for a minute when they started teasing Ryan and Nick being together as a tag team. So this should be good. This should be good.
Do we see the Hardy Boys on Stand and Deliver as that cuts it out for TNA Impact for the evening? So, Bob's your uncle, give us your rating out of 10 for that show tonight.
I do think we may see some Hardys at Stand and Deliver. I'm gonna call it and say we'll see them at Stand and Deliver. I think so.
Fair enough. I
Rating,
hope so. I thought the match we got at Roadblock is what we were gonna get at Stand and Deliver.
with Fraxium, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so too. But they fast tracked us and gave that us to on a Tuesday night. Was it a
Doesn't
Tuesday
mean we
night
can't
when
run it
they?
back,
Yeah.
but does Matt have a forehead scar? He's Harry Potter.
It looked like he had a bandage on his head. So
No, yeah, he legit just had a band-aid.
yeah.
He came out running out. I was like, what is going on with you, Matt? And then when he was out there, he's the only one that spoke on the microphone, and he's out there promo, and he's got a giant bandage like on his forehead.
Like yeah, right in the middle of the forehead there.
Yeah, well, that's what he was saying of we won't be cleared, we will be cleared before Rebellion.
Right, yeah, we won't be cleared before Rebellion, but at Rebellion,
Right.
they're ready to go. They're
We
ready
got
to
you.
go.
But 7.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7.5 again, folks. Let us know your rating out of 10 for TNA. Be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. But 7 out of 10, 0 out of 10, no Trish, C money. I think that's just the obligatory rating at this point.
Right.
That's the bar. That's the bare minimum. But 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10. What are you feeling, sir?
I'm actually in that ballpark of 7.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna stick with my initial rating of giving it a 7. Wasn't the best episode of TNA, wasn't the worst. Had some great moments. The opening segment with the elegances was not great, but they rebounded a little bit with the tag team match with AJ Francis. The Masha match was good. And then the main event was good, but that world title segment didn't hold anything for me. So I'm gonna stick with 7. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Fair enough. Can you confirm or deny this? Rebellion is 427. I think the Hardys don't wrestle till then. I didn't realize Rebellion was that far out. If that is true.
Yes, that is true. I think Rebellion is that far out. Let me look. Just to
That
confirm.
changes a lot of things because
Yeah, Sunday, April 27th. So yeah, that's far out.
yeah, because Stand and Deliver. Right before that.
So they might they might not be at Stand and Deliver.
Well, we never know. We never know because
Right.
I mean, we really didn't think that they would be when they was at. So we'll see. Is it a strength or is it a weakness at that point that it almost feels now like TNA resides or like relies on NXT crossovers, and it almost feels like NXT is starting to slightly rely on TNA crossovers.
I think you can safely say that a little bit, that especially TNA on their side definitely relying on some of the NXT talent, especially in the knockouts division, like I said in my 10-minute rant to begin the show. So yeah, I think you're there, the for real, but they need to, like I said, TNA has to, especially in the knockouts division, sign some more knockouts.
Fair enough. But WMC an 8 out of 10. I like Chavo and JC Jade match. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it seems like that's the number tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if because I'm torn. Like I'm in almost the 6 range, like 6.5, because like
I don't
I
think that's bad
really,
either.
I really didn't like the first segment at all. Like that almost like we're done. Like, and then they came back to it of there is no defending it. There is no that's a thing that happened. We
Yeah.
need to pretend that it didn't happen and enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah,
And go ahead.
I don't think a 6 or a 6.5 is a bad rating here. At all.
Everybody's out there 7.5, 8s. I'm like, I'm 6. I'm 6.5. I mean, the world title segment wasn't super great. Yeah, cool. We got Elijah. Oh, walk with Elijah. We got that chant. The Kazarian thing. I have no idea where we're going with that.
Yeah.
The world title segment and the women's title segment or tag title segment, the start and the top of the hour both meant fuck and all. You had
Yeah.
failures to launch out the gate.
They were both bad. No shine away from that. They were both
Right.
bad. And then
So
and some of the matches did rebound, but that just
and
six,
more
six
and the
and a half
matches
is
were
not
good.
bad.
I don't want to
Yeah.
poo-poo on everything. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned about of the 6-person tag match was great. You
Mhm.
did have some really good action. So you gave it what, a 7.5? Did you
I
give
gave
it
it a
8?
7. Yeah.
So I'll go 6.5. I
Yeah. I
will
think that's fair.
knock it down half second. I'll go 6.5.
Yeah, I can accept the 6.5. Even the 6 is fine. To be honest, but
So heavy. I'll go
yeah.
lower. Go out of here now. 5 to here. 4.
I see your point. I definitely see your point. No doubt about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. 7.5 out of 10. Nick's getting popping off. Oh. I found someone on Twitter who's giving away a 59 been wanting a gaming PC. I'm going to go and try and win that. Well, do you, Brian? Just don't blame us if your information gets stolen. Just saying. WM, can y'all explain how they tape the shows ahead of time? I'm new to TNA and see they've been running out of El Paso for the last month. Only some dates are live. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to?
Yeah, I can kind of go first and explain
Fair
it.
enough.
So in the past, I'll just say before 2025, TNA was strictly taped. Like their weekly shows were taped, and they're usually taped adjacent to a pay-per-view or a monthly special. They didn't start going live with sporadic episodes until this year. So basically the tapings are similar to what they did in the past. They're usually adjacent to a pay-per-view. So in Genesis standpoint, in January they had Genesis, then that Thursday they had a live episode of TNA Impact. They booked that same venue that Thursday night for Friday night and taped episodes of TNA Impact for about 3 weeks. Then they did another live episode, and then the next night they did another set of tapings to get us to Sacrifice, which was held in El Paso. They did Sacrifice that Friday night live, and then Saturday they taped episodes in El Paso for the next month to lead us. Actually, I think tonight was the last El Paso show because they're doing tapings this week in Missouri, I think. And that'll lead us all the way until probably Unbreakable. So that's kind of how things work out with TNA. They always tape adjacent to either a live episode of Impact or a premium live special, or the monthly special as they call them.
Yeah, it's a little bit like how AW does Collision and Ring of Honor.
Right.
All in one. Well, because I've been to when 205 Live was still a thing of you go to a SmackDown show and after the show is still 205 Live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indy Hartwell or Elektra Lopez to TNA.
I would see Indy going to TNA. I know she's said she got into wrestling because of the knockouts, so I can definitely see Indy going to TNA. Absolutely.
See, I'm kind of just both.
But both could definitely be there. Yeah.
Well, that might be to where kind of TNA starts to expand its knockouts division.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, uh, Jorge George, thank you. I'm assuming that's on like the NCAA hockey bracket, but uh, that's due to booking Norbert Kubek. What did Norbert say? Now I gotta freaking find what Norbert said. Someone let me know what Norbert said. But anyways,
Oh, I see it up there. He said Joe Hendry is the terrible world champion, which I don't
no,
think he's a terrible world champion. It's more of the booking, which I kind of hinted to earlier.
yes, I got it right. NCAA hockey, but yeah, well, it is booking-ish and almost like who's his challengers? Like it feels like his challengers are all in other stories. Like I
Right.
would love to see Mike Santana or Mustafa Ali, what have you, versus Joe Hendry. We
Yeah.
could have had, uh, um, well, we kind of had a Josh Alexander. We could have had an Alex Hammerstone, and now that's gone by the wayside.
Yeah. Yeah. We had some potential feuds for Joe Hendry. I just don't think they worked out right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, my guy, I don't know if you got anything else you need to get off your chest, anything else you're feeling, but TNA adding Maggie Lee is awesome. Nick,
Oh.
would you like to explain? Because I'm not familiar with her work.
I'm not familiar with her work either, but I don't think I have anything else. I think I got my 10-minute rant out at the beginning, so I am good.
Man just shot his shot and just we all had to wipe it off. But yeah, well, absolutely. We're back at it like a jackrabbit. Tomorrow, 3:45 Eastern Standard Time. I can find the slide if I can do it from time to time. Oh, is it there? There it is. But yes, 3:45 Eastern Standard Time. Live for Friday Night SmackDown 100%. We're live when they're live. Absolutely often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is all authentic. When you're talking about that recipe, but put that for life with it.
We'll see you guys next time.